Hey girl, welcome back. You are struggling with your weight. If it has been years and or decades and you've been on and off and on a roller coaster all over again, the first thing that you need is to calm the mind and allow the body some space and opportunity to heal. Just like a plant, like if a plant is not thriving, you don't get mad at the plant. Right? So we're going to take all the blame and the shame of ourselves and all the frustration of past failures off the table completely. Because what happens with the plant is you go, what is going on with the environment that is not creating an environment for that plant to thrive and to grow? So what's going on with the water? What about the soil and the nutrients? What about the sun? Does it need to be inside or outside? Does it need to have a bigger pot? What we do is we change the environment, and that plant then automatically begins to thrive and to be healthy. And you are very similar. So there's nothing wrong with us internally. But what we want to do is want to create an environment where your body will naturally begin to thrive. And when your body is thriving, it's not going to be holding on to extra weight. It doesn't need it. First things first, let's talk about meal number 2. Now, if you missed last week, we talked about meal number 1 and I gave you the breakdown. So I highly recommend that you grab a pen and a piece of paper to lose the 50 pounds and to keep the 50 pounds off now. Every single day, I write down my food for the following day. I get very specific with what am I having for breakfast, what am I having for lunch, and what am I having for dinner. Now, obviously, meal number 2, I do call lunch. Within the structure of a plan like this, there is enough freedom and flexibility to be as creative in the kitchen as you want to be, or as simple and plain as you want to be. As long as you are following this guidance, your mind is going to calm, your body is going to heal, and you're going to release the weight. So let's start with number 1. Now, these ones right here, that means a serving. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is a serving of protein. Now, when I say protein, why I say 1 serving is it's going to differ depending on the type of protein that you choose for this particular meal. Now, if you're going to have eggs, it's 2 eggs is a serving. If you're going to have steak or chicken or fish or shrimp or something of that nature, it's going to be 4 ounces is a serving. If you're going to have something that's more vegetarian, like beans or something like that, it's going to be 6 ounces. If you're going to have nuts or cheese, it's going to be 2 ounces. So it's going to vary depending on the type of protein that you choose, which is good. That variety means that you're going to be getting different nutrients, different vitamins, different minerals, a different amount of fat, a different amount of protein even. Don't worry about that. We don't need to be counting grams of protein. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, that's a little bit different. That is specific, creating more muscle. What we're talking about here is weight loss, insanity, and peace of mind. So if you've been struggling for years and or decades, this is the plan that I have seen work for myself, for hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people all across the world. Again, it's going to give you enough structure so that you're not trying to figure things out all over the place, looking from diet to diet, thinking, is it working? Is it not working? Is it going to work? Can I do it? Can I not do it? All of that questioning and that chitter chatter in the mind begins to soften and fade and go away when you just start sticking to a sane plan and realizing that the nutrients are going to be various throughout the day and the week and the month. You just stick to the portion. So it's going to be 1 serving of protein. The second thing is going to be a serving of fruit. I say or veg. Now, typically, I always have a fruit at lunch. If I'm out to eat, oftentimes they don't have fruit, so I'll have either extra veg or I'll have some rice or potato or something like that. But I usually, when I'm home and when I'm planning and I'm preparing for myself, I usually always have a fruit. Now, having fruit in the afternoon doesn't work for everybody's body. That's why I always say, well, that's no big deal. You can have veg. Fruits and veggies have an incredible amount of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, enzymes, antioxidants, fiber, water, all these incredible things that all the other parts of your body actually need to release the weight. Because oftentimes we get so stuck on the weight loss, but actually, if we're feeding our body properly and appropriately, and all the cells and the systems and the organs are getting what they need, then our hormones can balance. And when our hormones is balanced, we feel better. We have less cravings, less irritation, less frustration, less hunger, less irritability, and our body begins to release the weight because it no longer needs it. So we want to always make sure to have a lot of fresh, alive, and vibrant foods in our diet. And that's going to include fruits and or veg. Now, the third thing, and remember, write this down. Writing it down is going to access your subconscious mind. When human beings put pen to paper and write things down, it activates the subconscious mind. I cannot say this enough times. Women who struggle with their weight for years and or decades, on and off, and the frustration and the disappointment and the irritation and the body and the size of the clothes and the questioning themselves over and over, making promises to themselves. A lot of times what it is these subconscious patterns and habits that don't know what to do other than give you what you've always gotten. So as you put the pen to paper and you begin to solidify this new planning and preparing for yourself, it is self-care on a very deep level. It accesses that part of your mind that wants to create automaticity. It wants to create a habit. And every time you put that pen to paper and you plan, like I'm planning right now with you, I'm giving you the structure. And then every day you can get creative. You want to have an apple? Great. You want to have a pear? You want to have a banana? You want to have a peach? You want to have whatever the fruit is? Awesome. Now, the examples that I just gave you, that's going to be one serving. But what if it's like pineapple? You don't want to eat a whole pineapple, right? So if it's something like blueberries or pineapple or cantaloupe or watermelon or something where you're not really sure what the portion is, use 6 ounces. Same with the veggie. If you're weighing out your veggie, it's 6 ounces is a portion. I know that can sometimes be pretty large for some people, but remember, you're not going to be eating all of the other crap during the day too, because you're going to be so full and so satisfied and so filled up with an incredible amount of nutrients that your eyes are going to open, your taste buds are going to change, your body is going to be invigorated. It's so much fun to watch people change their food like this, and it's like a whole new world opens up. All right, so the third thing, and remember to write this down, is going to be a full serving of veggie. You want to make sure that whether you choose fruit or veggie for this one, that you always get at least a full serving of veggie. Again, that's going to be 6 ounces. Now you can roast it, you can steam it, you can saute it, you can grill it, you can barbecue it, who cares? You can even have it raw. You can have a nice, beautiful salad where you have a bunch of raw veggies if your body loves that. That's awesome. What if you want to have a mixture? Great, have a mixture. Just make sure that you're measuring out 6 ounces is a serving, and I'll just jot that down for you. The 6 ounces, I love my food scale. Oh my God. You do not have to worry about your body scale as long as you have your food scale and you're portioning things out properly and appropriately. Now, some people have asked me, why portions? Why can't I just eat real food? What about free foods? Like, isn't spinach just a free food? What about that? Listen, if you've been struggling with your weight for years and or decades, if you're on various medications, if you've been beating yourself up with frustration and disappointment and anger and weight gain and weight loss and diets and all of that drama, there are no free foods. You have got to create some boundaries around eating and food. I know that it feels like, well, I don't want to do that. And what if I get hungry? And what if this? And what if that? And that's not fair. I get it. But if you've been struggling, trust me, following this plan is going to soften and get rid of and quiet all of those voices on the inside. You're not going to be hungry. You're not going to be wanting other food. You're not, all of that stuff, it goes away. I promise. When you're feeding your body appropriately, because all of that chitter chatter is just out of balance hormones. And every time you eat, every time you drink, every time you think, everything you do creates a balance or an imbalance in your body in terms of your hormones, because they all work together. None of them work independently of the other. So it is really important and quite profound what happens when you just begin to give your body what it actually needs. If you have not been following a plan similar to this, you have not been getting enough vitamins, minerals, nutrients, enzymes, antioxidants, fiber, water, all the thing that is in the balance of this plan that I'm giving you right now to create the sanity and the soundness of mind and the peace of mind that you are looking for and that you deserve. Okay, so protein, fruit, veggie, and you can have any veggie. Literally any veggie you want. Zucchini, awesome. Cauliflower, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, carrots, cabbage, parsnips, like you name it, you want that veggie, you eat it. And there's a million different ways to cook it. Just get it cooked or have it raw, have some salad, have some cucumbers, have some tomatoes. Just make sure that you're getting enough. Now, this is actually the key here, because there's a couple things that begin to slide when we are on a plan that's really working for us. Number one is the water, right? We stop drinking enough water. We start confusing the hunger and the thirst. And then what happens is we feel really good. And so we're like, well, I don't need all of that. And we start skimping on the veggie. That's the second thing to go, is the veggies. And it happens so often. And once you're not getting enough of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients and enzymes and antioxidants and fiber and water and all of the amazing things that vegetables give to your body, that your body needs to create the balance and the vitality, then you start to get hungry for other things. And what's easy and what's quick and what's simple are usually things that are packaged and processed. And once you start eating those, you disrupt the hormonal balance of your body and you're back in the cycle all over again, wondering what happened and thinking, oh, the plan didn't work. The plan did work. The plan does work. It works every single time, whether your weight comes off really quickly or maybe it takes a little bit of time. It calms your mind, it heals the body, and the weight will be released. I've seen it hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of times, and I know that this can work for you too. Okay, so we got our serving of protein, we got our serving of fruit or veggie, we got our serving of veggie, don't forget that. And then the last thing, fat. I know. If you've been dieting for decades, you remember the 80s and the 90s when we all went fat-free and it was a disaster for the body. You actually need, so some of these vitamins that are in the fruits and the veggies, like vitamins A, D, E, K, CoQ10, and if you know anything about vitamins, that literally is almost everything. D acts like a hormone and you need it for your mood. E is for your skin and your energy and your ability to repair and be healthy and vibrant. It's also for your immune system. Same with A. And CoQ10 is for your heart. If you do not have the right fats, and I'm not talking about French fries or fried food, I'm talking about nuts, seeds, I'm talking about avocados and healthy, wonderful oils like olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil. If you do not have those things in your diet on a regular basis, your body cannot absorb those vitamins that I was just talking about, and it cannot reproduce the cells in the proper way that it needs to reproduce them. So make sure that at lunch, you are getting meal 2, weight loss meal 2, that you are getting fat. Do not be fat phobic. Do not be afraid of the fat. You don't need a lot of fat. Don't be going crazy with the fat bombs and going wild in that direction, because you don't really need that much, but you do need enough to balance your hormones and to get the vitamins and allow your body the vitality that it needs, that it wants, that it desires, but most importantly, that it deserves. You deserve to be happy and joyous and free and feel really good in your body. So when we give ourselves just enough structure, but then an incredible amount of freedom, the freedom to choose whatever protein you want, whatever fruit you want, whatever veggie you want, whatever fat you want, put it in the combination however the heck that you want it. This means that you can go anywhere. You can go to buffets, you can go to celebrations, you can go to funerals, you can go to holidays. You can go out to restaurants, you can travel across the world, you can go to any country. Fruit, veggie, fat, protein is literally available anywhere, anytime. And as you begin to create this structure for yourself and then the flexibility within to pick whatever choices that you want to make, have it as bland as you want it, have as creative as you want it, look up recipes, make a couple little tweaks because sometimes they add other weird things in there that you don't need, like flour and sugar and other things that are just processed that trigger the brain in weird ways and disrupt the hormonal system of your body. You don't want any of that stuff. But as long as you're just keeping your mind focused on, let me just make sure that I have at least this. Let me write it down at night. So tomorrow for lunch, I'm gonna have 4 ounces of salmon, that's a serving. I'm gonna have an apple, that's a serving. I'm gonna have 6 ounces of cauliflower with that. Perfect, that's my serving. And for my fat, I'm gonna have 2 ounces of avocado. Oh my God, have you ever had avocado with salmon? It is so good. You ever had grilled or roasted cauliflower? It is so good and amazing. And of course, I love to have my envy apple with my squeeze of lemon. That's like my jam at lunch. So good. So again, literally you can go anywhere, do anything, create the structure for yourself, and within the structure, you'll feel safe and confident. And then you'll be able to live your life in between the meals instead of always thinking about food. It's perfect. All right, I love you so much. I hope you're having a great day, and we will see you next week for meal number 3. Bye.